What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another installment here of Honest and Uneducated, the show where we talk about anything from movies, movie news, video games, comic books, hot toys, collectibles, just all sorts of fun stuff like that. Joining me today to break down the latest in entertainment and pop culture news here is none other than Rik Metz himself. How you doing today, Rik?
What's going on? I'm all right. How are you?
Not too bad, man. We got some stuff to talk about. You finally got caught up on the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I did.
So that's good. We can talk about that. You still haven't watched Justice League, though.
I have not.
So we can't.
I got to devote 4 hours to that.
Yeah, you do. It's a good 4 hours, and it moves.
It
takes 4 hours.
I was watching comparison videos on YouTube of like the Joss Whedon cut versus the Snyder cut, and the Snyder cut definitely looks a lot better.
It's a lot better.
The tone looks a lot better, I think, too.
Yeah, it's absolutely a better movie, that's for sure.
Yeah,
a lot longer, but you can get past like that, which is like you get to watch it on your couch. So it's not that bad. So pretty good. But we also have Mr. John Knight here. How you doing today, John?
I'm good. I actually watched Justice League twice now, and I'm thinking about going back in for my third viewing on the Justice is Gray black and white edition here pretty soon. So,
see, I've watched it 1.5 times because I went back and watched right when Superman comes back to life. I watched it from there all the way through, so like about half the movie, and it's good. Like I enjoy it because honestly, I didn't need the exposition for like a 5th time, because which the first half of the movie is essentially like the exposition, setting everything up. Not a whole lot of exciting stuff happens.
What happens?
Everything that happened in the regular Justice League, but 2 hours of it.
Yeah.
Like
2 extra hours of it.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's everything that doesn't happen in Justice League is what happens in the first 2 hours.
That's probably a good thing, then.
Yeah, and then everything. I mean, it's just a little bit here.
Yeah, I mean, the plot develops a lot differently too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the Justice League starts with Batman trying to get a parademon to experience fear for some reason.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
And that part is completely out. That doesn't even exist in this version of it. So. It's I mean yes, it's I really wish that I could like go to everybody that's like, yeah, but it's 4 hours, and explain to them like, look, it's not 4 hours. Like, yes, if you want to sit down and watch the whole thing, it's 4 hours. Well, guess what? Breaking Bad is like 79.5 hours. So
yeah,
if you or whatever it works out to be,
really
like Justice League was 2 hours of crap. This can be, if you need it to be and you want it to be, this can be 6 half-hour segments or 6 45-minute segments because it's broken up into chapters. So there are natural stopping points. If you don't have 4 hours, then treat it like a series. Watch until the chapter ends. When the next chapter begins, stop the thing, turn it off, go live your life, do what you need to do for your life, and then come back and watch another one later. I mean, I think people are. I've heard so many people harping on the 4 hour thing, and I'm just like, yeah, but it's not really like it is if you just want to have something to complain about. I'm not saying you're complaining, Rik, by no stretch of imagination. No. I'm just saying like you're like I think when people hear 4 hours, they think, oh, I got to devote like a 4 hour block. That's not true. You can do it in segments, and I think it still works just as well. So
just as well.
Yeah, just as well.
Yeah,
it really exactly. If it may be 4 hours long, but it flows by. You're not sitting there like looking at your watch.
No, not at all.
It goes.
I mean, for me, I was fully expecting the first time I sat down because again, 4 hours. People aren't used to 4 hour movies. They're used to at most 2.5 hour movies. So I was expecting like, oh, I'll take a break. I'll go do something. I'll go, make some food or something. Nope. The only break I took was to go to the bathroom and then get something to drink, and then I was right back into it. So it really clips along nicely.
Well, I mean, you've watched 8 hours of it, watching it twice. I've watched 6 hours of it. Yeah, it's fine.
I've watched no hours of it.
You've watched no hours of it. So.
Not yet.
You'll get around to it though.
Yeah,
you at least caught up on Falcon. We're gonna be giving our spoiler review of episode 2 here later on at the end. It'll be the last topic that we cover. But first, off the top here, don't forget, guys, you can submit topics and questions to the show by emailing us at honestanduneducated@gmail.com. That's honestanduneducated@gmail.com. Now, one thing off the top, too. Here in Ohio, in the great state of Ohio, where John and I and Rick, we all live, and not saying where, but somewhere in there. You figure it out. Somewhere in there, we share a state with Chris Stuckman of YouTube fame, and then we just found out too. Steve, I didn't know this, but Steven Spielberg is from Cincinnati, apparently.
Oh,
Cincinnati. No idea. Yeah. And then
Isn't
Stuckman's
that-
up in Cleveland. And then there's someone else too. I think what's her name from Sex and the City, I think was born
Sarah
here.
Jessica Parker.
Yeah, I think she was born here too.
Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen too.
George Clooney's
Yep.
from Maysville,
George
Kentucky.
Clooney was from Cincinnati, wasn't he? Or Kentucky, and then he did TV, news TV on Cincinnati, right?
I think his dad did. Yeah, Nick Clooney.
His dad did. Okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
There's just a surprising amount of people here.
Neil Armstrong. I delivered pizza to Neil Armstrong.
Yeah, that too. I share a birthday. This is unrelated, but I share a birthday with Gary Busey. I don't think he's from Ohio, but either way, I found that out like a year or two ago, and I was like, "Oh, cool."
I share a birthday with Daniel Radcliffe. Oh, Harry Potter. Yeah. And Amelia Earhart.
My youngest daughter shares a birthday with the late Robin Williams.
God rest his soul.
My birthday claim to fame is Kevin Smith, which I'm all for. Like,
Yeah, dude, Kevin Smith's
I was
great.
super excited when I found that out.
Yeah, he's great. But nevertheless, the point of this whole thing was that John and I went up to. Rick could not join us for it. He was definitely, the invite was extended, but there was a toy show today in where was it? Xenia, Ohio, out in the boonies. No, it is the boonies. I was gonna say like, oh, it's not. It's totally like the boonies.
Through that drift.
It's a ways away. But either way, we went into there. I was looking for Hot Toys. Obviously, if you're familiar with the channel, do the reviews for Hot Toys. We talk about Hot Toys all the time. That's pretty much the name of the game. I mean, premium format statues are great and everything too. They're just substantially more expensive. So like the Hot Toys, they get the job done. And they have a kind of like, dude, I was telling John, like, I really wish that I was into like those little pops. Like, I really wish I was, because they make so many of them. There's like literally a pop for everything. And they're like on average $10. A much cheaper hobby. I really wish I was into them. No, yeah, that's the thing though. It's just like they're kind of boring. Like,
no, I've had one. I had a Death Trooper, and my friend got it for me for Christmas, and I was like, "This is pretty cool." I mean, just a neat little like desk ornament, but yeah, I'm not one of those people that's got like cases of them or anything.
Yeah, like walls of them, you know.
Yeah,
somebody
I work with is
the Death Trooper one though. Like, because my biggest gripe with them is that if you just have like a standard humanoid character, unless you have the box for it or the human character has a discernible thing. Like the example I used was like a Harry Potter one. You would know it's Harry Potter because of the scar, right? But otherwise, every brown-haired dude pop looks exactly the same unless they have some sort of discernible feature.
Yeah.
But at least with a Death Trooper one or something, or a Stormtrooper, like, you know what it is. But like elsewise, it's just impossible to tell what they are.
Yeah.
But I wish I was into them because they're like $10 each.
Yeah, you can find them everywhere too.
Yeah, and yeah, they're literally everywhere. Grocery stores even have them. It's crazy. But what I'm going to do here is John didn't end up getting anything, but I actually did get some stuff. So I was going to share the haul I got from, again, it was the Great Ohio Toy Show here. So it was pretty good. There was not as many like Hot Toys. There wasn't a lot of Hot Toy stuff there, but I mean, I found some stuff that I was willing to purchase.
Probably less than 30.
Yeah, I mean, in total, it probably was
the entire show. So.
And then there were like, they say there were 300 tables, but like, I don't think there were 300 tables. It did not seem like there were 300 tables. Not like the show is bad. Like, there was a ton of stuff there. There's a lot of cool stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like they had like you were surprised at like how many like graded comics and just comics in general they had. There was definitely a lot of like older, like, I don't know. I don't really look for like older vintage toys, but there were some of those there. I don't know if there was a lot of that were like noteworthy. I think, but there were some stuff there.
It was like walking through my childhood, man. It was
it was good. Like, it was honestly good. I'll go next year. Like, whenever the next one happens. And there's another one like apparently like up in Columbus in like August, but nevertheless,
what'd you get?
I ended up getting some stuff. We're getting into it. I'm going to bring out the haul here. So, the stuff that I got was not stuff that I was even looking for. It's just stuff that kind of happened. And I'll explain why, but I'm going to share what that stuff is with you right now. So, and Jon was obviously there when I got this. This is not it. I was hiding something. But Rik doesn't know what the stuff is yet either. So, you'll be as surprised as he is surprised. I'm going to start out here.
What do you got?
I got the shippers for 2.
No.
And then 1 is out. So,
this
is where we'll start with this. This is the thumbnail for the clip right here. Like,
you gotta look shocked.
Yeah.
I can see that one already. That's sick.
You see nothing. So the first one, though, is not a hot toy, but just like the old Sideshow Kiadi Mundi figure I got not too long ago. Did a unboxing of this videos up on the channel somewhere. But that's a 13-year-old figure. This one, I don't know how old this one is. This one's from 2006. So I think it's this one's 2008. This one's 2006. This one's 2 years older. So, but this is the Sideshow Mace Windu, which surprisingly, I've said before, they don't do the head sculpts very well. Sideshow, at least especially back then, they're nowhere near as good as Hot Toys ones. But that
you could buy a Hot Toys level head sculpt for the figure. I was
thinking that there's third-party Mace Windu ones or Sam Jackson ones in general that I could just find and pop in there. I thought about that, but the thing is with this one, it actually looks pretty good. So it opens up like so. Might be kind of hard to see. This is new in box.
He's got the Django helmet.
Yeah, this is the Sideshow exclusive one. The collector's edition. It comes with Django's severed head.
Can he wear the helmet?
No, because I think you actually see his head.
No,
like the severed head.
Well,
then he also comes with all this stuff here. He comes with 2 different lightsabers.
The one from episode 1 and the ones from
Did he have
2
different
and 3.
ones?
Yeah,
that's what I was.
I
was talking to Jon when I was like, "Where is this other lightsaber?" Because he's got the classic, gold one here. That this is the one. If you were to buy the Force Effects or whatever version, that's what you would get. But I was this was actually the thing that when I saw it, I was like, I'm gonna get this no matter what, because these are only run around $100 normally. Ironically, though, I found someone online trying to sell this one for $350 because the exclusive one, the one that comes with Django's head. So I may have got a good deal with this, but either way, my mindset behind this one was trying to just do Clone Wars era stuff more so than anything, and this fits the bill. And I don't know if Hot Toys is ever going to make one. And this one, no matter what, is going to be the third of a price of a Hot Toy. So he will do. He fits the bill. I got that.
What else you got?
And then I got, this one's a little bit more special. I never had any intention of ever picking this up because it's about 4 times the price of what it retailed for anymore. This is a Hot Toy. I obviously got all these from the same guy, and because I had cash on me, cash is king, everybody. You take cash, all right? You get some deals if you take cash. And I got a deal on all this stuff. Now, it doesn't always happen, but for once in a while, you might get lucky. So what we got here is the Dark Side Anakin Hot Toy. The Sideshow exclusive.
That's cool.
Now, this bad boy runs anywhere from, I don't know, minimum, really, even used, $650. It's a big boy. He's an expensive boy. This thing's already open, so I can actually show you, give you a quick. And here, got your little art there, your art print. Then we got the stuff there. Little Anakin
that
there.
arm, yeah,
it's got his freaking robot
metal arm is
right here.
That was because the guy pulled it out at the show and was showing it to us. I thought that thing looked sick.
It looks great. It looks it's awesome. In this thing, I had absolutely zero intention of ever buying this because of how expensive it goes for. You want to see it, Rik?
Yeah, I'll take a look at it.
But the cool thing with him is that he comes with the little hover droid that they were on in Mustafar when him and Obi-Wan were battling, and that's like the base for him. It's really cool. It has like a lava effect and everything. I'll do a proper unboxing of all this stuff and do reviews of them. Reviews go up every Wednesday, so you can take a look at that stuff. Just keep an eye out on the channel for the reviews and everything. I'll probably do an unboxing and like preview of them probably on stream Friday. Now, this one is also a big boy. This is the absolute largest hot toy that I have at this point. As you can see, it is a big boy. It's got some weight to it. My bicep vein is popping from the weight. You can see it. There's proof that this is a heavy boy.
You want this one back?
Yeah, I'll take it back. Let me get this packaged up real quick. I just teased the big boy. Sorry. Someone say something clever.
But
yeah, anyway, with the Anakin, though, the Clone Wars Anakin, this is the only Anakin Hot Toys is made. They have a light side version of this, and then they have this dark side version. The dark side one is the one that goes for crazy expensive. But this one, I absolutely, I'll say it again, had no intention of buying this because I don't actually collect Marvel figures.
I know what it is.
But I was able to get a deal on all three of these things just for a very good deal. Let's put it that way.
I have a feeling. Yep. Yep, that's what I thought. Not that specific one, but
we got the Hot Toy Gladiator Hulk from Thor Ragnarok. It's got a super cool box. I'll try to pop them out real quick just so you can see them. This thing is massive. And it's incredible. Take a look at it. It's incredibly hard to see. Can't even get them in frame. But see this thing, Rick?
yeah,
Just look at it.
yeah, I can. That's pretty sick.
We'll do a proper unboxing. So there's the haul. That's what I got. I was able to get all these things together for essentially this. Look up if you're curious of the price. I won't say what it is that I paid because it's private information. But if you look up what these run on eBay, these Thor Ragnarok Gladiator Hulks, I paid around that price for all three total. So it was a good deal. It was a really good deal. So there we go.
Pretty sick.
That was the haul from the toy show that we went to in Columbus. Again, I will do a proper reviews and everything of this. So later in the week, but I just thought I'd share that with you guys. So if you ever have any toy shows come around your area and you're into hot toys and stuff like that, hop in and take a look. I mean, honestly, John, I think we went through the whole thing. We were able to walk through, especially if you're just looking for specific things. Like we were just looking for hot toys, so it was real easy just to like fly through and do a quick scan of all the booths. And if you don't, the boxes stand out, you know exactly what you're looking for. You can get in and out of there in 30 minutes to an hour if you're really wanting to. So at least the way this one was set up, you're able to do that. So if you're ever there,
yeah,
you definitely might find some stuff that you can get good deals on, stuff you're looking for. And I'm sure other ones in the area probably have. Obviously, the vendors bring like different stuff all the time, so that's why it's definitely worth going repeat times. Or if you've ever been to a con, you would know all about it. You know, the stuff's never all the same. You know.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. It was a fun time. So that was it. That was the haul. But now let's get into our first main topic here. Our first topic today, we're going to cover the Suicide Squad trailer. Now, the James Gunn Suicide Squad trailer. And I gotta say, Rick, we just watched this. You hadn't seen this yet. We just watched it right before the before we start the show here. So I'm gonna let
Yeah.
we'll get your thoughts on it first, and just tell us what you thought about it. Then we'll just kind of chime in. And we'll give a quick little review of the Suicide Squad trailer. What did you think, Rick?
I thought it was good. It was definitely interesting. I like the humor. The characters seem pretty cool as well, and it definitely has me more intrigued to see it now. Not that I wasn't before, but seeing that trailer in particular, it was like, damn, this is like that headline said, decent. So
Yeah,
surprisingly decent.
yeah. There was some. I think it was like the New York Post or something. But when I was pulling up the trailer for the show here for this shot here, I just Googled like Suicide Squad trailer, and then obviously one of the first results for whatever reason was like New York Post headlined like I don't know who wrote it because I just saw it and I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, James Gunn's Suicide Squad trailer is surprisingly decent. What is that supposed? Why do you got to be so condescending about something? It's like, I was just confused about it too because it's like, well, are you like, is that shade at James Gunn? Because like, what cause would you have to throw shade at James Gunn? Is it shade at the Suicide Squad franchise? Because the movie, well, despite what you think of the movie, it made over $800 million. So I mean, did your movie guy who wrote the headline make more than $800 million? I doubt it did. I doubt it did. It's a very condescending headline. I don't know why. But either way, it rubbed me the wrong way. It was a stupid headline. But nevertheless, I thought the trailer was great. I loved King Shark. He was my favorite part of it.
Yeah.
I know someone.
John,
do what?
I was gonna say John Cena seemed really, really good as well.
John Cena looked great. And he's always had really good comedic timing. So
big Pete Davidson fan too. I think he's funny. So,
yeah,
that'll be cool to see him in there.
I feel like they spent more of the CG time and budget on Weasel than they did for King Shark. Like in that one shot of Weasel licking the window,
weird.
He looked. I mean, he just looked like kind of perfect. He looked like real
like a weasel.
And but this shot here, he doesn't really look like CG.
It's like my cat trying to get into the bathroom when I'm in there.
But then like the shot of King Shark, he pretty much looks like a big CG shark. I don't know. We were talking about it on stream though, and like in all honesty, it's kind of the uncanny valley in a sense to where like no matter what you do with King Shark,
he's gonna always look.
Yeah, you're gonna know he's a CG. He's a shark walking on two legs, talking, and you're always gonna know he's a CG shark. So I mean, I don't know. There are some shots that look better than others, but other ones it looks like the CG wasn't as polished. But John, I think you made a good point though. Like maybe they'll tweak it up until comes out in like August or something.
August, I think. Yeah.
So, what did you think about it though? What stood out to you?
Oh, I mean, I loved it. I thought it was great. The cast is just phenomenal. I know the last cast had Will Smith and I'm trying to think of who else was in there. It was a good cast, but this seemed to like ratchet it up a notch. Like Idris Elba, some of the other guys you guys have already mentioned. It's a huge cast. Like the names just don't stop coming. They just announced too that Sylvester Stallone is doing the voice for King Shark. So it's just a crazy number of people that are involved. And so, and then this is like Nathan Fillion. That's right. This looks like pure James Gunn Unleashed. Like if you liked the Guardians movies, like he still was kind of restrained maybe by the PG-13 and wanting to fit in with the Marvel universe or whatever, the MCU proper. So, which he did beautifully in those movies. But I think this is going to be him just kind of off the leash doing exactly what he wants to do. And I think that's a good thing. I think he'll have a really strong, he'll put a really definitive mark on this movie and it won't feel like other movies. I think I think I said on Twitter something about like, if you're going to do this movie and you're going to do it rated R, then do it the way Deadpool did Deadpool. Just don't put limits on it. Do it all out. Like, I'm not saying this movie is going to be Deadpool, but it's going to be rated R. It's going to earn its rated R, rating, as you can see from this first trailer that was rated R. So yeah, I think it's going to be great. I did find the timing of it interesting because they, instead of dropping a trailer with King Kong versus Godzilla or Godzilla versus King Kong, whichever direction they have that next week, they dropped this trailer this week, and it just so happened that it dropped like right at the same time that there was a big push to restore the Snyderverse, a social media push by fans of Zack Snyder's Justice League to try and get momentum going to, urge WB to restore the Snyderverse and let Zack Snyder continue making movies with the Justice League characters. So it was interesting because dropping this trailer on when did it come out? Thursday. I think it came out like on a Thursday in the afternoon. Like there was nothing else going on. There was nothing that it really tied into, other than the fact that like it seemed like they were trying to. Warner Brothers was kind of trying to draw attention away from it. It didn't work. The push by the Snyderverse people still way outclassed it in terms of retweets and trending tags, but
Well, that's the
but
funny
it was
thing
great.
too.
It was a great. I hate that. Yeah, sorry. Let me just get this one thought out.
Oh,
I
you're good.
hate that WB is backing fans into a corner where it's like, because I want fans to all be behind this movie. I think this movie looks great. I think this is what WB should be doing, giving a creator control over a area or a franchise and letting them complete their vision for it. And they've kind of gone against that with Zack Snyder. So anyway, it's interesting that I hate that they're kind of making fans use what should be just pure enjoyment of this trailer and excitement about this movie. They're kind of a lot of fans are feeling like, well, we have to use this as a platform to also push the fact that we don't want them to stop making the Zack Snyder stuff.
Yeah, well, like a bunch of the characters that were pre-existing and intertwined with Snyder's universe are in this movie. Like
Exactly.
Harley Quinn interacted with Ben Affleck's Batman. Ben Affleck's Batman just interacted with the Joker, the same Joker that was with this version of Harley Quinn. Granted, it was a nightmare dystopian Elseworlds version of him, but it was still the same guy. And then like Captain Boomerang's back, Rick Flag, like Ben Affleck was in the first Suicide Squad movie. Like
Amanda Waller's justification for starting the Suicide Squad in the first place is because Superman dies in BVS.
Yeah, and she talked to Batman about it.
Yeah,
like he was there. So it's like this is actually it coexists with the Snyderverse more than any other DC property does. Like even Shazam and Wonder Woman and Aquaman, those three movies really have next to no relation with the Snyderverse. Like Wonder Woman movies are both prequels, and then at the end of Shazam, you see the suit of Superman, but you don't actually see Henry Cavill. And then in Aquaman, you get one line from Amber Heard. Her Mera character says, "You fought Steppenwolf." That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing else connects it to the greater universe at all. But Suicide Squad, that's directly connected to it in many, many ways. Now, this movie might not have those same connections, but the very existence of those characters just kind of by virtue does, its existence, So,
Yeah.
Either way. But the only thing we didn't really mention, though, in the trailer was Starro. So Starro's there.
Right.
Yeah.
And, like, if anybody's going to do Starro, like, it's going to be, like, it would have to be James Gunn. Like, I don't know anybody else who would try to bring in a giant alien starfish.
Yeah, it's a strange
creature. Like, I'm looking forward to it.
There's the DC purist of me that's like, oh, Starro, come on, you gotta save him for like a Justice League movie. Like he's a Justice League caliber villain. Like, that's who he normally goes up against. But the absurdity of a giant alien starfish that is trying to take over people's fits in well with this. And so, I said to a friend of mine, that magnificent bastard James Gunn would find like the most perfect villain to put into a Suicide Squad movie, and he may have just done it like that. It fits very well with the theme of what this movie appears to be.
It's very James Gunn.
Well, that's the thing too. Like we don't know, like because there's a couple different ways they could go with it too. They could do like all the little baby starfish that control like people's minds and make them zombies and do whatever they want. It could just be a giant starfish, like just.
Well, we definitely know it's a giant starfish.
We know that much.
It's just whether or not we have that extra component too, which I hope they do. Like we were talking about on stream, I hope we get the full on like face hugger starfish like on people's
Oh yeah,
domes, like controlling them
Yeah.
and stuff.
yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be
Because then they could
interesting.
also
I
be the cannon fodder for all of them to kill. If it,
Sure.
at the same time though, I guess they would be humans, so it'd be a little bit worse than what happened in the first Suicide Squad movie when they were just like putty men from Power Rangers.
Yeah.
This might be a little different. I don't know if they would do that and have them kill. Who knows? It is rated R, so they can kill as many humans as they want. King Shark's freaking ripping them in half and eating them, chewing on human skulls. Like,
Yeah. It's pretty
King
brutal.
Shark's gonna be the best. Like the dude tweeted out, and it's totally true, and I totally agree with him. Like everybody should retweet this guy's tweet. I forget who it was, but he said like, James Gunn, if you kill King Shark, I'm never watching your movies again, or something like that. It's like, how could you like kill off this beautiful creature? Like,
Right.
it's true. Like, I really hope they don't kill off King Shark. The one thing I will note, because I didn't bring this up to you before, this shot when they're on the, let me try to find it here in the trailer. This shot right here. Do you remember the Suicide Squad Rocksteady video game? They're like literally on this very same rooftop, and then Superman comes in. Like, you remember that? The Suicide Squad Rocksteady
I
game
can't see
trailer?
the screen, so I'm not. I remember.
Oh, I
that
didn't have it
trailer,
up.
but I
You
can't.
remember this the Suicide Squad game trailer? Completely separate property. Same characters, but it's
Yes.
based in like
Yeah,
the
I
Arkham
do.
time.
Yeah.
But they're literally on this like
They take over the premise of that game. The beginning, or at least from the trailer, the premise is that the Suicide Squad is taking over that city, right?
No, like Superman goes rogue. Remember, Superman comes in at the end,
Yeah,
and
but
it's kill the Justice League. Like chaos is happening in the background, and then they get their mission,
Okay.
and it's to kill Superman. But they're
You know
literally
what?
like on this
I'm
rooftop.
mixing up with the Suicide Squad comic. My bad.
Yeah,
They
they're-
just had a new Suicide Squad comic that came out right around the same time as that trailer dropped, and I'm getting the two confused.
Here, let me try to pull this up just so I can show you, like, you just the shot. Like, it's like right in the beginning of the freaking trailer. Yeah, it's like remember Brainiac's in it, so
Yeah.
you got Brainiac here, and like he's doing this. Chaos is ensued in the city, and then it cuts to the squad, literally like on a rooftop, just like
Yep.
they're on a rooftop now in the movie, and
Yeah.
it's not like the same thing, but like literally a rooftop and the like destroyed city, and it's like King Shark and Harley Quinn. Everybody but Deadshot is there. And then, I don't know. I just thought that was funny. Like, it was the odds that it's like them on a roof.
Right.
And then they're on a
Yeah.
roof.
Yeah.
Same thing. I have no
True.
idea if there's supposed to be any sort of connection to it at all. But a nice little Easter egg or something if it is there. So, but I think it's safe to say we're all looking forward to the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I can't wait to see James Gunn get into his R-rated roots, Super and Slither and all that stuff, and bring that little flavor into the the DC world. So it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it. The question is, guys, what did you think about the Suicide Squad trailer? Did you catch the little tie-in there with the Suicide Squad video game? Like, I'm sure it is unrelated in every way possible, but I just found it interesting that they're both on rooftops when they're talking about their plan and doing the thing, and then that's when it happens. And so, I don't know. It's funny. It's a good little thing. Let us know what you thought down in the comment section below. All right, guys. So our next topic here today sticks in the DC universe here, but well, I guess it is kind of connected. It's DCEU related for the most part. I mean, who knows what they're kind of doing now? We don't know if all these movies are still going to be interconnected. We know that for sure, quote unquote, that the Snyderverse is not moving on, which is unfortunate. But as I said in the previous thing here, the characters that have existed within there are moving on. Like, we still have the Ezra Miller Flash movie coming. We still have, Shazam. Shazam 2 is coming. And, like, granted, again, it wasn't Henry Cavill Superman technically in there. Actually, I guess technically it was Henry Cavill Superman. They just didn't show his face. But it was the same suit. And supposedly it was just a scheduling conflict, and that's why it wasn't there. But either way, that aside, we have some news here. One in relation to actually the aforementioned Ezra Miller Flash movie, and then I think it was last week news came out that Billy Crudip had to step away from the Flash movie. He played Barry Allen's dad, Henry Allen, but he had a scheduling conflict. Again, but he had to go film the morning show, and because this Flash movie has been delayed for 5-6 years at this point, something just finally came up and he couldn't do it, but they have announced the replacement for that, and it's going to be Ron Livingston
Of Office Space.
of
fame.
Office Space. Indeed, is going to be stepping in to replace Billy Crudup as Henry Allen. So that would be cool.
I like Ron Livingston.
Yeah, he's great. Ron Livingston's great. And on top of that, we also have some casting news that Heln Meren is going to be playing the villain in Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods. That's interesting. And then lastly, we have an announcement that the Zatanna movie has tapped the director who previously, or they tapped the screenwriter who was the director on Promising Young Woman, which I have not seen that film yet, but I've heard very good things. Actually, I do want to see it. And so that actually, I think I made a post that said, like, no pun intended, but this is promising. Promising young woman. Obviously, I know I literally didn't mean it in that way, but it's just what the title was called. But I thought it was very promising because I've heard very good things about this movie, and for Warner Brothers to go out and actually tap, because despite the fiasco that the Snyderverse is and DCEU is, like, Warner Brothers has always been a director's studio. That's what they were always known for. They just hire good directors and they just let them do their thing. Like, that's why Christopher Nolan had such a good relationship with Warner Brothers for so long, because that's how Warner Brothers operated. They were a very director-friendly, director-driven, creative-driven studio. Like, they would hire someone to do a job and they would actually let them do the job. Doesn't seem to have been the case with the DC stuff for whatever reason, but maybe they're getting back in the swing of these things. I mean, they have that good relationship with James Wan still. He made the Aquaman movies, made all the Conjuring movies for him, etc. But for them to go out and tap a relatively new, like, screenwriter, because I think Promising Young Woman was the biggest thing that she has done, and for them to tap her to come in and do a Zatanna film, which I'm pretty excited about. I never would have expected them to actually do a solo Zatanna film. Would have much, I'm not necessarily preferred, but I would have imagined her being like a secondary character, maybe in there, maybe pop up in like Constantine or Dark Universe kind of thing, maybe even pop up in a Batman or a Nightwing movie or something. But you could do a lot of cool stuff with her. I love the Zatanna character. I think she's cool. But question is, John, Rick, what do you guys think about this stuff? Which one of these stories here what pops out to you the most?
Probably the Heln Meren one. I'm not super familiar with Zatanna. Like, at all.
She's a wizard.
I was gonna say she looks like a magician or something.
Yeah,
but
that's what it is.
I mean, that's cool. I like Ron Livingston too, so that's good news on the Flash front. Office Space is probably one of my favorite movies ever, and I think a lot of it's because of Ron Livingston. So, pretty excited. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. John, what do you think here?
Yeah, I mean, if I had to just straight up pick which one of these is the biggest news, I think Heln Meren is hands down the biggest of these three, because she is she's another class of actor. Like, you've got your Hollywood royalty, and she's almost in that Hollywood, movie history royalty there. And so her being involved, I think, instantly brings attention and eyeballs to that movie that would have never even bothered glancing at a Shazam movie. So that's a great catch, great pull for DC films, and just comic book movies in general. It's it was like Anthony Hopkins going to Thor and some of the other big draws that Marvel has pulled off over the years.
It's actually not her first comic book film, though, either. She was in Red.
She was in Red. Yep,
Red
she was in Red,
which was Warner Brothers as well.
But Red is also Red is a comic book movie in the same way that I'm trying to think, like, Kick-Ass is a comic book movie, and like, yes, its history, yes, the story did come from comic books, but it was never a New York Times best-selling comic book. It was never it was a great book, but if you're not into comics, you didn't really know about it.
It's not your classic superhero fare.
Exactly. It's not. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's obviously the biggest one. The Flash switching, roles, they got a really good replacement. So it's just going to be interesting to me, coming off of the Snyder Cut, how long it takes them to get flash filmed and out in theaters, and whether or not it seems jarring. You now, with the Snyder Cut, have these really emotional scenes between Barry and his father. And then you're going to roll into a Flash movie where it's a different actor, and will that be jarring at all? I feel like it probably won't, but we'll see. So yeah, I mean that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know if it'll be. I think it'll be just as jarring as, probably not even as jarring. But I was going to bring up the Don Cheadle Terrence Howard swap.
It's a little jarring.
It's just like, but it happens once the first scene. You're like, wait a minute, and then you forget about it and you move on.
Yeah,
Like,
I honestly forgot that Terrence Howard even had anything to do with it.
yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's
Don Cheadle's like War Machine.
Yeah, he just pops in. When you think of War Machine, you just think of Don Cheadle. Like, you don't think of, and that's nothing against Terrence Howard. It's just Terrence Howard was in Iron Man 1, which was 20 odd films ago. Like, I mean, especially like, that's maybe a bad example. We've moved on so far from that whole scene, but I mean, they even make the joke when he comes in, Don Cheadle's first scene. He's just like, "Yeah, it's me. Get over it." It's like literally like a wink to the audience, like that it's a different person. I don't know if they would really do that with Henry Allen, but at the same time, he really has only had the scene where he's in prison. They didn't.
I don't think he's as major of a character.
Yeah, and a lot of people more people seem to have watched the Snyder Cut more so than Justice League. So more eyes definitely will probably be on that scene. Maybe more people would actually notice the swap now, especially considering that scene's a little bit more drawn out than it was in Justice League. So I mean, maybe, but I don't think it'll be too jarring. It's just it's not like no more jarring than, honestly, I'm actually more surprised they didn't end up replacing Ezra Miller after the whole choking someone and slamming them to the ground fiasco. Like, more so than anything, they kept him. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think I heard that might have been staged or something too. So like, I don't think the backstory from that was ever really clarified. But I forgot to comment on the Zatanna one. Like, I'm a big Zatanna fan. Like,
oh yeah, I love Zatanna.
Everything that Paul Dini used her to perfection in the Detective Comics run that he did years ago, playing off the fact that her father, Zatara was trained like Batman Bruce Wayne's magical training came from Zatanna's father. And so Zatanna and Bruce actually knew each other growing up, and in a sense, because he trained with her father. And so he used their interplay to great effect in the Detective Comics run he did years ago. And then she's been, whenever she's used just great. I always love the character, whether it's like small appearances on the old Justice League animated cartoon, to her appearances her more regular appearances on the Young Justice cartoon that's currently out. Like, I just love the character. I love the idea of magic. I love the idea that she has to pronounce everything backwards, and so it's going to be interesting with them doing a movie to see how much of how they deal with that aspect of her character. They try and find things that are easily like deciphered backwards, or do they just lean into it and just like you'll see something happen and have to figure out what she said on your own? So
right. Well, that's the thing too, and I believe
tricky.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do that for sure. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe in the Young Justice series, that's where they had Zatara actually. Maybe I'm thinking of a movie. I can't remember, but Zatara ends up becoming Dr. Fate.
It was Young Justice.
Was that Young Justice? Yeah.
He agrees to take the helmet. He agrees to put on the helmet of Naboo, in order to free one of the Young Justice kids, I believe, has
one
it
of the
on.
kids put it on. Yeah,
I think it may be Wally West puts it on. I can't remember
Wally.
Exactly. And then in order to free Wally, Zatara agrees to take the role of, because Kent Nelson has died. And so the helmet of Naboo doesn't have a human host. So
yeah,
what it's just interesting because, like, again, I would have always assumed Zatanna or Zatara, either one or maybe both, would be introduced as in something else because it's not the biggest. It's not like a super well known character. Not that it wouldn't work. It's just I just that because of that, I would have assumed that she'd pop up somewhere else as a side character and something. But it's interesting now that Dr. Fate is being that's actually we forgot the fourth casting news. I guess we'll talk about it now. Freaking James Bond is playing Dr. Fate. Yeah, what's his Pierce Brosnan has been cast as Dr. Fate in the Black Adam movie. So we have a Dr. Fate thing happening. I feel like when you cast Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate, I hope they have more plans beyond Black Adam for Dr. Fate because
It's a
Dr.
pretty
Fate,
big choice.
yeah, I mean, it's Dr. Fate's one of my favorite characters, and Pierce Brosnan, despite what you think about his run as Bond,
Awful.
some movies were better than others. Like GoldenEye,
Really?
everybody loves GoldenEye. Everybody loves. Actually, I don't know. Pretty much just GoldenEye is, I think, the only one everybody unanimously loves, and I know nobody likes. Everyone always gives Tomorrow Never Dies shit, but I like the movie. It's fine. But then the one was Tomorrow Never Dies the one with Halle Berry, or was that the one with whoever else? Denise Richards. Yeah, there's Denise Richards and the Halle Berry one, and I know one of them. I can't remember. Both of those movies don't have a lot of fans. Let's put it that way. Everyone loves GoldenEye. I think everybody also romanticizes GoldenEye because of the Nintendo 64 game. So I don't know if people love the movie or love the game, but
Yeah,
it's a great game.
The game was popular.
It's a great game.
I think the movie established it before the game came out.
Oh yeah,
I think the reason GoldenEye is so beloved too is because there was kind of a lull in the quality of James Bond's films through the 80s. Like, you know, the ones that did come out I don't think weren't the best James Bond movies. And I think GoldenEye was a return to kind of that being a major film draw. But anyway, I love the Pierce Brosnan ones, but yeah, that was also like people have their actors that play certain roles, and he was my James Bond. Like Daniel Craig is obviously tremendous in the role, and I love him. But you know, Pierce Brosnan was my introduction to James Bond, so he always will be kind of like my James Bond as far as that goes.
He played the role good. Like it's just it was just like what I would say for it is it was the unfortunate time period of just action movies sucked. Yeah. Like I think it fell victim to that. Like
what, like
late 90s, early 2000s, everything was just going downhill. And it wasn't until like the late 2000s where they stopped making just your stereotypical bad 90s action movies, you know?
Yeah, and actually added some substance to them.
Fast and Furious being a great example. Like the first like 3 movies of those. Maybe the fourth one, so I can't remember, but they're completely different movies than Fast 5 and on. Like Fast 5 is like
those are like heist movies.
Yeah, they're great movies. Like they have nothing to do with the other movies that came before it. Like they completely switched genre, and now I don't know what the hell they're doing. I think we made a joke at some point that I wouldn't doubt that the next Fast and Furious movie they're going to go into outer space or some shit, and I think there's actually rumors that it is happening. That they're gonna be going to outer space, and like I wouldn't doubt it with that
driving like anymore. A Nissan Skyline on the moon or something.
Yeah, like I have no idea. Like that franchise, it's like it started out like just like bad '90s kind of stuff. The first movie was pretty much a ripoff of Point Break, and then don't even get me started on Tokyo Drift. But then Fast 5 and on, God, Tokyo Drift was just like a nightmare. That movie.
And I like drifting.
Yeah, drifting's great. But either way, that aside. I'm excited about the Pierce Brosnan Dr. Fate thing. Dr. Fate's one of my favorite DC characters, so I just hope they have plans to do more. And like maybe, and I like Zatanna and Zatara's interactions with Dr. Fate, and if like maybe they'll lean into the DC universe side of Magic thing, and they actually can do something cool together at some point. I don't know. Just the fact that you're announcing a Zatanna movie, and then you get someone of the caliber as Pierce Brosnan, it kind of makes me think that you would be having more plans, but this is also DC we're talking about, so I don't think they know what they're going to do tomorrow. So
no,
who knows? Don't think so. Well, this is Warner Brothers talking about. DC is fine. This is Warner Brothers talking about. Warner Brothers' leadership with DC properties is very hit and miss anymore, so I don't know. But I'm looking forward to it regardless. You guys got anything else you want to add about any of these? I almost completely forgot about the Dr. Fate news.
No, I think that's pretty
I'm
cool.
glad I remembered that.
Well, it's just it's again, I go back to like it's odd because DC and Warner Brothers haven't announced anything. How long's it been since we had a DC story, that had any kind of real substance to it? I feel like it's been a while. That
Really, since
wasn't
fandom.
that wasn't Snyder Cut related. Like, what announcements have they made? Everything we've talked about for the past 2 or 3 months has been Zack Snyder revealing little bits here.
You just completely froze up on us, John.
John?
Your audio actually froze up on us, like not
A
just
whole lot of DC proper news.
Oh.
And then we get to this
Now he's
week
back.
after Snyder Cut comes out and people love it, and all of a sudden DC's like burying the lead. Like they're not talking about that at all, and they're bombarding us with casting news, trailers, announcements of new films. Like it's been a cornucopia of DC related content that isn't Snyder Cut related. It's very odd, and it's almost comical what they're doing, and like as if they think fans can't figure out exactly what's going on. So
it is a little tinfoil hatty, but it is odd. Your camera froze up on us and your audio cut out for a second there too, just a second ago. I don't know if you had like an internet hiccup or anything, but it is interesting if you put on your tinfoil hat. It is odd timing. It's like all the Snyder Cut stuff's popping off, and then all these stories, like you said, there hasn't been DC announcements really since DC Fandom. There's been pretty much nothing. Radio silence. It was all Snyderverse or Snyder Cut stuff. That's it. And then once Snyder Cut pops off, everybody sees it and it pops off. Now they're like, oh, let's announce this. Let's announce this. It is a little coincidental. Tinfoil hat for sure. But I don't blame anybody for wearing that tinfoil hat right now. It definitely seems like it could be a diversion of sorts. Like, let's get them talking about something else. Like, let's move on,
Yeah.
But I know, which is a smart thing for them to do, honestly, because if they really do have no plans on working with Zack Snyder, and Zack Snyder has no plans on working on future properties with them, at least as far as the DC stuff goes, changing the conversation actually needs to happen, or it's just going to snowball, So I get it, in all honesty.
I feel like it was poorly executed though. Like you couldn't even let him have his moment for 1 week. I mean, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's been very, very poorly. I understand that it's their company and they get to do what they want with these characters. But I don't know, to open the floodgates that soon and be like, oh, hey, don't look at that thing over there. Look at these shiny things over here. It's like, okay.
Right. Oh, all we got to say is #restore the Snyderverse.
There you go.
Right.
Tweet it out. But anyways, guys, the question is, what do you think about all that? Was 4 DC topics. Obviously, like I said, like we just kind of mentioned, like John brought up, do you think it's kind of odd timing? Do you think it is like, well, let's change the conversation? You think Warner Brothers, there's any sort of like, I don't know, minutia with that? You think there's some behind the scenes, like they want to change the topic and everything from the Snyder Cut stuff? Like I said, I totally understand them wanting to do that, but it is like, I don't know, it's tinfoil hatty, but it's definitely possible. I don't blame anybody for wearing that tinfoil hat. But let us know in the comment section below which one of these 4 topics you thought which stood out to you. Let us know down below. All right, guys, so our next topic here is kicking away from the DC universe and moving into some MCU and I guess some overall Disney news to some degree. We have word of Disney finally, they pulled the trigger on putting Black Widow, most notably Black Widow, direct to Disney Plus. They're doing a day and date release, actually. So they're putting Black Widow both in theaters and on their Premier Access $30 rental fee thing. They call it Premier Access, but it's really a $30 rental. It's called spade a spade. That's all it is. But you'll be able to either go to the theater and watch Black Widow if you can, or like I said, we talked about it before. I think we talked about it last week. Bob Chapek said, like, he did like a press conference or an interview or something, shareholder meeting, and it was the first time he like made any inkling of the even slightest possibility of Black Widow actually being a Disney Plus release. Before, when asked numerous times, Bob Iger and Bob Chapek themselves both said, like, nope, it's going to go to theaters, like, it's going to get a theatrical release, blah, blah, blah. But last week, he made some offhand comments that definitely seemed to have, I mean, I said, like, he definitely gave an indication that they're considering friggin' putting this thing on Disney Plus at this point. I can totally tell. And then next week, we get the confirmation. So that's coming to Disney Plus. It's not the only thing. I guess Cruella is as well doing the day and date release thing in theaters. I don't know if I can't remember if anything else was, because most notably, it was Black Widow. That's the biggest news of it, in my opinion. So I don't know what, John. I know you're between all three of us here. You are the most theater going person, I guess we'll say that. You're the biggest theater goer. You enjoy the theatrical experience more, I'd say, than Rick and I. Not that, you know, we don't enjoy the theatrical experience by any means, but I typically go like for like the movies I'm super duper interested in. Like I would obviously like your Godzilla versus Kongs, you know, your big boy blockbuster movies, like that's the stuff that I like. I like going to theaters for that stuff.
Sure.
You know, more so than anything. Like I can watch a comedy movie or anything like that. Like I don't need the extra expense, in all honesty. You know, you see what I buy, okay? You see what I buy. This is in the beginning of this video. I buy these stupid toys that cost more than the freaking movie ticket, so I can't. I got spare money where I can. You know what I mean?
True.
But John, what do you think about this? You know, does this upset you? You happy about this? You still going to see it in theaters? What's your take on this?
Yeah, I need to log into my movie account because I've got a membership account, a monthly membership account, and see if the Black Widow's ticket I pre-purchased 2 years ago is just going to be rolled over into the new opening day one, or if I need to purchase a new one. But yeah, no, I'll be there. I'll be there, you know, for the first show at the first showing. Whenever July 9th, I guess that's the date now. You know, if that holds, I'll be there for that. I was really worried they would do premiere access and not a theatrical release, and that was going to upset me because I don't want to see it on my TV at home first. I want to go to the theater and see it first, but I also am going to see it whenever it comes out first because I don't want to be spoiled about anything. So, you know, if they would have removed the theatrical component, then I would have been forced to do the $30 rental. And that's the other thing that bugs me about it too, is like, I understand the financials of it. I think we may have even talked about this last week, you know, $30 for a family of 5 or 6 or 7 or even 4 is like a steal when it comes to seeing a movie. But for an individual, for like a single person that, you know, I have somebody else I could, you know, my fiance would watch it with me. I'm guessing that she will end up watching it with me. So yeah, and maybe that gets us down to the cost of a movie ticket each. But it just, you get more bang for your buck with the more people, the more eyeballs you're putting in front of it for that $30. So I didn't want to pay $30 for the home viewing experience. I wanted to pay my, you know, I'll throw down my $20 and go see it at the theater. And so. And then I'll come home and I'll probably spend another 30 because I love the Marvel movies and I won't want to give up not being able to watch it for 2 months or 3 months until they bring it back to Disney Plus regular.
I hear you. And I brought up this for your viewing pleasure, your May 2020 release date poster here.
Yep.
So we got that going.
Yeah, I had my ticket, everything. I had my seat picked out. Like I was excited, man.
Plus, so they didn't refund you for it?
Oh, I'm sure they did. That was a joke, man. I guess the sarcasm. I didn't layer the sarcasm on enough, but no, that was a joke. I'm sure they refunded. I'm sure that I have to figure out when they go on sale and get my early ticket as soon as possible, so I get the seat that I want. It's even harder to get the seats you want now in the times of COVID because they're you know, spacing the seats out more and stuff. So you really got to be on the ball.
Dude, I've said it before. I hope that they take. Especially with planes, okay, like airplanes especially. I hope like post-pandemic that some things remain a thing, okay? Like we don't need to be elbow to elbow with people we don't know and play. Like give us some room in between people. Like airplanes especially, dude. You fly economy, like just don't. I've literally the
awful.
last few times I've flown, I've paid the extra money to go first class, and I'm not a rich man, like at all. But dude, after I flew to Italy in economy, it's the worst
I flew to
decision
Germany in
I ever
economy
made.
and back, and it was fucking
It's
awful.
terrible, dude. You got like a smart car would have substantially more leg room than they give you on airplanes.
I was stuck for like 10 hours, 10 and a half hours. Just it was
Dude, it's
terrible.
miserable. Like the flight to Italy was over 12 hours long, I think, and it was brutal, man. Like it was brutal. So literally the next flight I did was only like a 2-3 hour flight, but I got the first class tickets. I didn't care. I was like, I'm not doing that again. But I just hope that some things stick, man. We don't need, because the weird thing is with airplanes, this is now airplane talk. They used to be a luxury thing. They were like an experiential event, kind of like movies.
Yeah.
Like go look up like old pictures of airplanes. They had like couches and stuff, and like it was like an experience. Like it was a good thing. But then capitalism took effect over everything. They're like, we could just throw all these seats and get as many people on the plane, charge much money as
Yeah.
we can. And that's all it
Sacrifice
is.
comfort.
Yeah, that's literally all it was. Like obviously they can make more money if they can cram more people on the flight. But still, just get rid of a seat or two, and then you're good. Move up like a foot. You lose some seats, but if you can't even fit all the people in, if you can get through the pandemic when you have to reduce your seating to like 25%, like theaters can, you can get rid of a couple seats to have a better experience for your people. I mean, that's what the movie theaters have done lately. Like AMC put in the recliner seats and all that stuff. Like they're making the experience better for the consumer, and that's what's keeping movie theaters afloat. Like if it was the same as it
For
used to
sure.
be, that's how movie theaters used to be. And there's still some theaters out there who don't have the whole luxury experience. And I don't know anybody who would go to one, like if they had the option to drive the same distance, and like imagine two movie theaters are next door to each other. One of them is like an AMC with recliner seats, and the other one's just like your old school theater with the little flip down seat. Like everybody's gonna go to the recliner one. Like it's
Yeah.
just, you know what I mean? Like I don't know anybody who wouldn't choose the better experience. So I just,
For sure. Yeah.
that's my tangent on like there are some things that could come out of COVID. Okay, like just not being elbow to elbow with a bunch of people. Like that's pretty much it. Like that better experience is going out there. Because I think I haven't been to one of these reduced theaters experiences here. I haven't had a COVID movie theater experience, but I feel like it's probably pretty nice going in there and like not having like 100 people, only having like 25 people. It's just
Yeah.
like a nice little thing. Depending, I don't know, it might be better.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's also like have I gone? Well, so I went last summer, like in the height of the pandemic when everything was shut down. Like as soon as theaters started opening up, they were opening up to people they were doing runs of old movies. And I went to a triple feature of Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises, all back to back to back on the IMAX. And I was the only one in the theater for Batman Begins and The Dark Knight Rises. So, and then there were a handful of people that came to see The Dark Knight, and the first and last ones were phenomenal experiences. There's nothing like having your own private showing on the IMAX
Yeah.
of your favorite movies. But the middle one, I have to admit, like at the height of the pandemic, I'm like, there's that twinge of nervousness, like, oh shit, what am I doing? Like, am I gonna
Yeah.
get sick? Am I gonna get somebody sick because I came and saw this stupid movie? Like, so there is that in the back of your head. I think that's kind of I got some of that went away when I went to see Wonder Woman because I knew how they were spreading people out, how and the theaters aren't as packed. I felt like I had more chance going to the grocery store of picking something up. So,
Okay.
it went away to a certain extent, but it is nice. It is nice having that separation in your own personal. Plus, you also don't have to run the risk of having some jerk on their cell phone next to you or just down in front of
Exactly.
you, because they're also pushes the jerks away from you somewhat too.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
nice.
exactly. That's what more I was getting at, because like every once in a while, especially because it's kind of a give and take. Because I know a lot of people, like when you go and you see Endgame in a packed theater, and then you have that Cap getting Mjolnir moment, and then everybody freaking cheers and loses their mind. Like that's a good experience. But at
Yeah.
the same time, you don't need like 600 people, 100 people, however big your theater is, all cheering. Like if you only had 100 people in there instead of 500, that's still an experiential event you're having with other people. Like, and it's it's like I don't know. I like having things a little. I like having a little bit of
I
privacy.
like my personal
Yeah, that's what I'm
space.
saying. Like, I wouldn't want to completely lose out, and like I don't know, because like you said, it's cool to have a private theater. I remember the only time I've ever been completely alone in a theater was when I went and saw Talladega Nights.
Huh,
Like, we were only people. I was the only people there. I didn't really care for the movie either, but
nah.
so it wasn't like a cool viewing experience. It was just like, well, I can see why nobody's here.
Hmm,
That
You're
was
right.
more or
There
less
was
my experience.
there was something I saw recently, and I don't know if it was a joke or not because I didn't really like click through to see what it was about. But like somebody posted a thing in I think a Star Wars, maybe it was a Facebook group or an Instagram thing I was looking at, but like there's a design there. They said that there's a design out there that basically movie theaters are going to be redesigned to look like the Senate with like from the Star
I
Wars
saw
movies with
that.
with little pods that you will
Yeah,
sit in instead of like rows. You'll have your own little pod that you go into,
I saw that.
and
Yeah.
they compared it to the Senate and the Star Wars Phantom or
I
the
am the
prequel
Senate.
trilogy.
yeah, that'd actually be cool because there were those one theaters. I think they called them like iMovie or something. They had a couple theaters, and like you'd go in and you had like your own little like you had your own little bubble, and you could like they had like a bed kind of thing you could even lay on, and like just
I
like
could see that getting messy.
yeah, you could pull up like they
What?
had this little like sheet thing you could pull. It was like a little dome that just went over your seating area, so you had
So
like
people couldn't see you
privacy.
making out.
Yeah, like I don't know. Definitely would need to make sure the seats were clean and all that stuff. But like, I don't think that it was like that. Like you could still see like people there. It's not like a complete privacy thing. Either way, John, your cam froze on us again, bud. But either way, me, I'm looking forward to the Black Widow thing. I probably will. Um, just given the circumstances right now, I'll probably catch it on Disney Plus first. I don't know. I really haven't decided. So either way, guys, let us know what you think about this down in the comment section below. Are you going to watch the premiere access version of Black Widow, or are you going to be trying to get a ticket in the theater? Because as we said, the theater's doing reduced capacity now. I think they're only doing like 25% for a movie like this. I've heard that in most places, like especially even like LA and New York, theater tickets have been selling out very quickly. And for these more popular movies, when you have only 25% capacity, they're going to sell out even quicker. Because these are the ones that, like I said, this is a movie that I would typically go and see. I just don't know if I feel like really going out and doing all that right now, still, just in the kind of current climate. But either way, let us know what you're going to do down in the comment section below. All right, guys. So, our fourth topic here today is we're going to get into the Falcon and Winter Soldier spoiler review here. That's going to be the kind of the fifth topic, but we have two stories here. One, the next one, I'll separate them up for you because one might be considered a spoiler, so I'll let you know once that happens. But this first one is just Disney reported the numbers that they had for Falcon and Winter Soldier on Disney Plus, and they're saying it is the biggest series premiere to date, the most watched streaming series on Disney Plus, which is great. The only thing that I would say to this though, I don't think it's as big as a story. Is like it's not like this great headline because I mean it's cool, but Disney Plus has only been around for like a year, so it's like I mean, how big do you have to be to become the biggest thing on your streaming service? You know what I mean? Not
Yeah.
that it's not a notable feat of any sort, but I mean, you got to think the only comparison they really have for big titles is Mandalorian, WandaVision, and then Falcon and Winter Soldier. So realistically, it's just Falcon and Winter Soldier was bigger than those two shows. So it's not really the biggest news in the world, but it's an interesting thing. And then, like I said, this is kind of leading into we're going to be doing a review here in a minute, so I just thought it was kind of an interesting note. At the very least, they're reporting that this was bigger, like presumably bigger than Mandalorian season 2 and WandaVision, as stated. So, Rick, you're a big Star Wars fan here. What do you think about Falcon and Winter Soldier being more watched or more people watching it than Mandalorian, just premiere wise?
I think it's going to be the kind of thing where every new Marvel property or Star Wars property that comes out, when you have a premiere episode like that, I think it's going to always be like the top viewed one because they're getting more and more interested in it. And, like Mandalorian season 3 could blow that out of the water, or Book of Boba Fett or whatever, but I think I don't think it matters whether it's Star Wars or Marvel or anything like that. It's just whatever, as time goes on, whatever is the newest will be like the top streamed show, obviously.
Right, and that's a good point too, because the benefit that like Falcon and Winter Soldier has is the shows that came before it.
Yeah.
Like so now, like we had Mandalorian come out, that brought a lot of eyes to Disney Plus. Then Mandalorian season 2 came out, more people watched Mandalorian season 2 than Mandalorian season 1.
Yeah.
Then WandaVision comes out, becomes the #1 show in the world. Now more people are on Disney Plus accordingly. So like now, Falcon and Winter Soldier comes out. So there's just already more people there by virtue of the other shows bringing them in.
Saying,
yeah. So it's that's what I'm saying. It's a good point. Like it has that going for it. So it's like I don't know. But that's what I'm saying too. It's like it's more of a story, in my opinion. If you've been around for 10 years and then your show comes out, then you have like 10 years worth of stuff before you. So it's like a bigger deal. Because right now, like I said, it's really only bigger than 2 shows at that point.
True.
They like there's nothing else to compare it to. Like what else would have been their biggest they've only had 3 original series on there. So
right.
They could only have 3 premieres to even like
three original genre series. I mean, they've had, High School Musical and other series, other original series on there. It's just not in our wheelhouse.
Your premium content, though. They haven't had premium global content. You know what I mean? Because High School Musical is not globally appealing. Even Hamilton doesn't have global appeal. It's musical. It's more niche than a superhero thing is nowadays. Which I never thought. You tell me when I was a kid that like some show about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier or some show about Wanda Maximoff's gonna be the biggest show in the world. I would have said you were crazy. But yeah, to your point though, even if you add that stuff into it, there's only like 5 things. But as far as premium content goes, I would never expect something like High School Music. I would not hold High School Musical to the same standard as Mandalorian.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like it's a little misleading when we're saying there are only 3 new series. Like,
oh no, there's only 3 series that are worth a damn. There's only 3. Like there's not High School Musical isn't bringing in Disney Plus subscribers. It's not. Like you know what I mean? Like it's not.
I don't know, dude. Like there's an entire it's like
10 years ago.
There's an entire generation of people, kids, young adults that grew up on the Disney Channel. I personally didn't. Like I have no experience. Justin Bieber and Britney Spears didn't mean a thing to me until whatever, but until they started making music. But the reason those people popped off so much was because there's an entire generation of people that were raised on Disney Channel, and those shows hold an importance for them.
Britney Spears and Justin Bieber weren't on Disney.
I thought Britney Spears was.
Britney Spears was at Mickey Mouse Club.
They were in the Mickey Mouse Club.
But that wasn't like that wasn't a Disney.
Isn't that Disney?
Like, it's a Disney thing, but it's like it wasn't like a
wasn't
TV
that on the
show.
Disney Channel?
Was it a TV show?
I think it was a TV show in the 80s.
Yeah,
was
the Disney Channel had a whole show that they did with the Mickey Mouse Club that ran every week that people
I was in the club.
Were you in the club, Rick?
I was in the club.
For whatever reason, I was thinking it was like something else. Like I knew it was. I didn't think it was a Disney Channel show. I thought it was something else in relation to like something they did. I never knew it was a like actual TV show.
No, it's a huge.
It was a show.
It's a huge thing for the people that loved it. Like
I thought it was like a club thing. like literally,
you got your little club card.
Yeah, dude. Well, no, like they went, because they have, how they have like camps and stuff, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. Like I was just thought it was like some stupid thing like that. Like, oh, they're in the Mickey Mouse Club. Like,
no, like
it was a good stupid thing.
Like I understand what you're saying. Like the genre stuff right now is huge, and like it dominates the box office, it dominates the TV, and so I understand that. Yeah, you're not going to put Falcon and Winter Soldier up against, what did I say? The High School Musical. But they do have a lot of original series. Like they brought Hannah Montana back, for crying out loud. Like that.
No, they didn't. That got canceled.
It got canceled.
Yeah, they're not moving forward with it anymore. They had plans to, but I'm thinking of Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah, my niece loved Hannah Montana. Like I could not when I lived with my niece for about 4 years when she was like between 5 and 9, and oh my god, like I couldn't I would blow my brains out half the time because all that was on the TV was Hannah Montana. So, I'm just playing devil's advocate that there is more. It does mean something to them because it's beating all these other audiences. It's bringing in all these audiences that usually stick to only one thing, and I think making it even bigger than they. And the other thing I'll say is, they're also the number 2 streaming platform, um, and they've closed the gap on Netflix in a hurry. Like
Yeah.
being the number 1 show on their platform means something because you have, you're talking about what did we say last time we did the numbers? Like close to 120 million subscribers, 110, 120, something like that. Like
Yeah.
they
It was
crossed the
some
100
crazy.
million mark not that long ago, and so you've really got a lot of eyeballs on your property if you're if you're number 1 on the number 2 streaming platform.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Mm.
Mainly though, the only what I was more or less meaning was like, because those shows obviously have their and like the biggest thing with, I mean, a lot of the appeal for Disney is the library that it had, right? A lot
Yeah.
of people subscribe
Sure.
just because of the family friendly content and all the like their big ass library. The
True.
difference is like, uh, it's all a matter of it's semantics, but like in some ways, the premium content is the things that they're dumping all their money into. You know what I mean? Like the budget for High School Musical is not the budget for Mandalorian. You know, like they're
No.
putting the budget behind those shows because they know those shows have global appeal. That's their premium content. That's what brings access to the seats. You know, they're not giving what's his name? Justin Long has that like shop class show, and like I love Justin Long. He needs to be in more stuff, but no one's signing up for Disney Plus to watch shop class.
No.
It's just not a thing. No one's signing up just to do that. Like what's making people sign up is the premium content, like your Mandalorians, your WandaVisions, your that stuff. You know, that's what it. Not just because it's the genre in stuff. It's like no, that's the stuff Disney is putting all the money into. This is their premium content. That's the
Yeah.
reason you do it. You know. So, but I'm sure there's people out there who have signed up just for, like I said, tons of families out there signed up just for the Disney stuff. They know it's something that they can have their kids watch without parental controls for the most part. You know, just
Yeah.
like there you go. Anything you watch on here is fine. You know,
For
is
the
what
most
it
part,
is.
yeah.
I just think as far as it being the most watched ever will mean more. Will mean more
When
in
there's more
10 years.
content.
Yeah, in 10 years, whatever is because you gotta think now it's like you look back and it's like, holy shit, it's bigger than Mandalorian, it's bigger than Falcon and Winter Soldier, it's bigger than one, you know what I mean? Those are statements, you know, like it's
Yeah.
bigger than all this stuff. Like that's why I just think it'll mean more. It's not undermining the feat by any means. It's still a noteworthy feat. Like if I made a little show, like if this show became the biggest show on YouTube or something, I'd be like, that's a good feat. But I mean, there's a lot more shit on YouTube though, so I guess that's a bigger feat in a lot of ways. But either way,
Yeah.
like no comparison. It's great. I'm happy for them. It's very well deserved. So, but question is, guys, what do you think about this? Do you think it's deservedly so that is the most watched show here on Disney Plus here? I mean, I think it is. I really like the show. You're about to hear our thoughts on the episode 2 like right now. So let us know what you think about this down in the comment section below. All right, guys. So we're gonna get into our spoiler discussion here of Falcon and Winter Soldier in a moment. Prior to that, there is something else that we're going to discuss here. I'm giving you fair warning. It does cover. It's a potential spoiler for upcoming Falcon and Winter Soldier stuff, potentially. Okay, so this is for the next like 5 minutes. When I wave my hands like this, so someone remind me if I forget. When I do this, the potential spoiler information for Falcon and Winter Soldier will be done, and we will be discussing just the show overall. So, starting now, there's been our favorite thing in the world, some toy leaks, And if you remember, I think we talked about this on stream or something like not too long ago. The Hot Toys, as you know, the things we love here, they released the images for the Winter Soldier figure. So, I mean, John and I very astutely immediately were just like, well, I wonder why they haven't released a Falcon one. Probably because he was going to be in his Captain America costume and they're not revealing it yet because it hasn't happened in the show. Oh, probably. And that's pretty much like this. I think exactly what the case is. Now, John that brought up, I was telling him that we were talking about this before the show, and maybe they're just not done with it yet. So that's why the promotional photo's not yet. Like, maybe. But, because I brought up the point that the toy league we have right now is, I think, just the Hasbro one, but it does have Falcon, and yes, the Marvel Select one. So it's the Hasbro Disney exclusive stuff here. Your Marvel Select figure of Falcon in the Captain America, the suit here, and this is from Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, this is the branded Falcon and Winter Soldier. Unlike this Winter Soldier figure is not branded Falcon and Winter Soldier. This is comic book Winter Soldier. This is from the show. So, like, there you go. Like, he's gonna, because I don't know how, but there's still been like people speculating out there. Like, I've seen so many people just like, they don't know if like they wonder. There are people out there wondering if Falcon's going to end up with the shield and if he's going to be Captain America at the end of it. And it's like, it's obvious. Like, that's what the show is. So I don't know why people didn't think it was like, I don't know how people are questioning it. And then like, these are out there in the wild. You can just find this. I mean, I found it. It's right there. It is what it is. So Falcon is definitely becoming Captain America. He's got the shield. He's got the suit. It is what it is. So what do you guys think about this? Do you think it was just as painfully obvious as me? Because like I said, this is potentially a spoiler, but I feel like everybody knew this was coming. Like, I mean,
I knew like this would happen.
Yeah.
I live under a rock. Like,
yeah, you didn't even watch the first 2 episodes until this, and you still knew what happened.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
yeah.
I mean, realistically, you don't even have to watch the show to know it'll happen. It was pretty much insinuated based on the end of Endgame, and then if you know the comics, it was just kind of obvious, in my opinion,
sure,
that they were going in this direction. So, John, do you find this surprising? Do you think this is actually a thing? Because I mean, it's in my opinion, it's hard to deny something branded by the television show that this isn't something that's going to appear in the television show. Normally, that doesn't happen. You know what I mean? So, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the only way that this isn't how the show ends up is if this is like, I don't know. If episode 6 episodes, so if episode 4, like for some reason Falcon has to take on the persona, but then turns it over to Bucky by the end of the series. Like maybe he's only Captain America for a handful, for 1 or 2 episodes, and then for whatever reason he doesn't feel comfortable with it or wants to be his own man, or what he said to Bucky in this latest episode plays true for him. Like it doesn't, that's not who he wants to be, and he turns it over to Bucky, and Bucky ends up, because if you read anybody that knows the comics knows that at one point Bucky was Captain America, at one point Sam was Captain America. There's been a litany of people that have held the shield. So just because this is out there doesn't mean it's necessary. Is it that it's necessarily going to go this way? Is it likely? Yeah, I think it's more likely than not. I would definitely take it as a good chance that this is the end of it. But again, like that's the one thing I like about the Disney shows. I don't think anything's ever 100% like this is definitely going to happen. There's nothing you can say that means it's going to be. Hulk was going to be at the end of Infinity War. Well, guess what? That was a fake promotional image they put out. So
True.
they could have mocked up this package and put this out there, and like maybe Bucky's cap at the end of it. And this is all just a bait and switch or feint to throw people off scent. I don't think that's the case, but it could be.
Right.
Anything's possible.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much a done deal, in all honesty. Especially if you, I don't know, given like the narrative of the show, it only makes more sense, in my opinion.
Well,
like
Steve
especially
handed,
at the end of this episode.
Yeah, Steve handed the shield to Sam at the end of Endgame. Like it just doesn't ring true that these characters who have known and loved for this long, that they would not honor, Steve. If there's going to be another Captain America, that they would not honor Steve's wishes and have it be, because they respect that man so much. They respect what he did and what he stood for so much that there's no way that that's why they're having such a hard time with. I mean, we're getting into the show now, but I'll go back to it.
Yeah, we'll get back to it, because the only thing I'll note here before we move on to the actual review because it is hard to talk about this without talking about the show. So I totally get it. But this doesn't say, just for anybody who's not astutely reading this, it says Captain America on the packaging.
Yeah, it doesn't
say,
say
the Falcon or Sam Wilson. It says Captain America with, you know what I mean? So it just, I think that was the only thing that would be debatable, is if he would actually go by the moniker of Captain America, or if he would just wear the red, white, and blue and use the shield. I think that was pretty much up for debate. I wouldn't have gone like either way with that. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing too. When it gets, this is kind of go into the show, but yeah, well, I don't know. Calling yourself Captain America isn't like he's not Captain America just because he calls himself Captain America. You know what I mean? It's just like Steve Rogers is Captain America. That's the only thing I don't like about the whole idea of like the government branding Captain America, even though like it is a government thing. So it is just like an IP. But at the same time, it's like Steve Rogers is Captain America. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and Sam Wilson, he's not even a super soldier. Like,
no, that's what I thought. I was like, he's not even... But super soldier.
I'll wave my hands here because we're obviously going to start spilling into the show. So it's over. It's over. You don't have to. There's no more spoilery pictures of anything that you may or may not have wanted to see. So that being said, we'll get into the show here. So we were just talking about, if you skipped the spoiler-ishy segment, we're just going to jump right off here with we got our boy here. Show started with, I think that it was great that the show started with introducing us to the John Walker character and letting you see him that he's just like he seems like a good guy.
Yeah, he seems like the all-American kind of
like he seems like they gave you some, like, he makes it seem like you're like, okay, maybe this guy's not that bad, then it's fine. Because, you know, when they show him at the end of the thing, the way the other episode ended, you know, it's just like, ooh, they did him dirty, and then you just immediately don't like the guy in the suit. But then you see that, like, you know, he's just a dude he just wants to do a good job. You know, This is what it is. Now, the only thing I have that I had issue with going, like, this is going to jump in, like, way further ahead. But they do that whole, like, training montage of him. And, like, he's whipping around the shield, throwing it just as hard as frickin' Steve Rogers would throw it or Bucky would throw it. And, like, but the training montage itself, it's like, how long did he have to train with this shield? Because Sam just gave them the shield.
Right.
Like, how?
He's pretty experienced with it, like, in the fight scenes and everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, you had this thing for, like, a day. And you're whipping it around like Steve Rogers.
But I think that's part of the bigger story, is that the government, while Steve Rogers was Captain America, and while he was the one running around with the shield, the government didn't just go, oh, we lost the formula to one super soldier, so we're just giving up on the super soldier program. We're not going to have contingency plans. We're not going to have, you know, Black Ops training programs going on anywhere else. You know, like I think.
So do you think he's a super soldier?
I think that's part of the story.
You think John?
I don't know that he
soldier?
is. He might be enhanced somehow. I mean, clearly they're saying that there are other super soldiers out there that because they say in this episode that the Flag Smashers are all enhanced, and there's somebody out there called the Power Broker that is able to hand out this stuff. So I think it would stand to reason that, and we also get clued in that there is a history of super soldiers in the government. Steve Rogers wasn't the only one, despite what the government would have you believe. So I think it's possible that he has, maybe not to the extent that Steve Rogers was, but I think he's had some enhancement.
It still doesn't explain how they show a training montage of him with the shield when Falcon just gave him the shield.
Yeah, maybe he just went home.
Like, it's like at it. The way the montage went off made it seem like he had it for a long time and he's been training at it and he's really good at it now. It's like, it's been a day.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, the training part of it, he could have been training with a shield. It doesn't have to be that shield. And then when
they don't have another one though. Howard Stark and Tony Stark made that shield. But they don't have another one of
this shield, but they can mock up a metal shield that has the same properties.
Not without vibranium.
You're telling me you can't make something that weighs the exact same amount out of a different material?
The vibranium is what makes it bounce. The vibranium is what makes it do the things that it does. If you just grab a piece of steel, it's not going to bounce on shit.
Could be some sort of advanced composite.
No,
Sure, and
it's a dumb thing that they did in the show. They made it seem like the dude had been training with the Shield for a long time. Like I'm not accepting anything else than that. It was a stupid mistake. Like because he picks it up. Sam just gave him the Shield, and now this guy's like doing marathons with the Shield. It's like, dude, you just got the thing. Like he's like in the beginning of the episode, they show him not even wanting to put the suit on and stuff. You know what I mean? It's like he looks like a good guy, but it's like, no, he's been training behind the scenes with the Shield and all this. It's like he just got it. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Either way, it's a small nitpick. I don't care about it, but it is just odd that you get the Shield and like you're just an expert with the Shield immediately. You know. And what I like most, but the best scene with the Shield, speaking of which, was later on here. This is jumping a little bit further ahead, but they have a quick scene when they're fighting the Flag Smashers on the truck. And my boy Bucky catches the Shield at one point. That was the best part of the Shield.
Picture of his face.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a quick scene too, because he just catches it and immediately throws it back to John Walker here. That's the thing too. Like, it is weird that like John Walker is not supposed to be a super soldier, quote unquote, but he's taken a lot of hits.
Yeah, and I mean the suit's obviously not like super protective.
No, it's not. Like, because that's the thing, like Bucky, when he gets kicked from Enfys Nest out of the truck into the other truck, he's fine. But like, would John Walker be fine if he got kicked off a truck moving 60 miles an hour and then landing on a windshield?
Right.
I don't know if he would, unless he was a super soldier. And again, they have that scene where Battlestar drops in and he gets kicked off the thing, and then dude again is just an expert with the Shield. Precision throws it underneath Battlestar so that he can slide on it. And it's like, okay, that's the comic book stuff. That's fine. But at the same time, if you're not a super soldier, why are you giving up the only thing that you're only one up on everybody there if you're not a super soldier? I don't know. Just nitpicking. I'm nitpicking right now. I love the show. I think it's great. But I don't love it for this action stuff, though. I love it for the character moments with like Bucky and Sam.
Yeah.
Like the scene like way later on, jumping around again, when they're when Bucky and him are in the therapy session and he says, you know, if he was wrong, talking about Steve, it's like if Steve was wrong about you, then he was wrong about me. That was the best line of the show, in my opinion, so far. Because it just shows you where Bucky's at. You know what I mean?
Bucky.
Like, and there were like people out there who like didn't understand what that like was, and it's just like, dude, Steve was trying to make Bucky understand that he's not just like some monster, you know, and like that's the whole point behind it. I don't know why people didn't understand like what that line was, but there were people out there who just didn't get it, and like he's essentially saying that like if Steve was like wrong about Falcon being worthy of the Shield, then he's wrong about him being able to have a normal life, and he's not anything other than the Winter Soldier, this monster Winter Soldier. I think the show might end up leading to something to like a kind of like a revelatory like moment for Bucky to realize that like the Winter Soldier doesn't determine like his life. He determines what the Winter Soldier is. Like he could still be like he may not be Captain America or any of this. He might just continue to be referred to as the Winter Soldier, but accept that and like realize that the Winter Soldier is what he makes the Winter Soldier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? You know, it's like the Batman symbol thing. You know what I mean? It's like
sure,
you can do whatever you want with it, like, you know, kind of thing. The Winter Soldier doesn't have to be a symbol of all the terrible shit he did. You know. Oh, maybe go something like that. Because I just don't see him actually being called Captain America, given his like
history.
Yeah, given his history. As much as I would much rather him be Captain America, it makes more sense. But either way, is there anything else that stood out to you? Do you guys though? That was literally my favorite thing about it. I know, like you like the Isaiah.
Yeah, he was a
Bradley
good character.
Stuff. He was good.
It was kind of a surprise.
That was just a really cool, like I knew who he was. I knew what was going to happen in that scene, but it was just a cool like slow burn before the reveal of what was actually going on. Like he didn't just come right out and say it. Like they just kept pushing him, and then he flings the box across the wall and it embeds in the wall. And I thought that was a great way to kind of reveal what was going on there for the people that don't know the back history of the comics and what they were doing. I also will point out that a young man that looked a little too young to just be his son, so it was probably his grandson, answered the door. And I think that there's a lot of comic fans who are assuming that is his grandson Elijah, that will end up one day being one of the Young Avengers that goes by the name Patriot. So we now have Wanda's kids, that Wiccan and Speed, that have made their appearance in obviously WandaVision, and they're missing now, but as we saw in WandaVision, they appear to still be out there somewhere. And now we've got Patriot showing up, we think, in this episode. And then we have confirmation that Hawkeye, Haley Steinfeld, is going to play Kate Bishop Hawkeye in the Hawkeye series. So we've got 4 of the 5, and we have
Kamala Khan,
but no, Scott Lang's daughter. I can't. Cassie Lang. Yeah. Cassie Lang has already made an appearance, and then they've also announced that they've recast that role, and she will be appearing in a future project. So I think we're like one phase away from them announcing a Young Avengers.
You could say we're one Hulkling away from a
one Hulkling. Yes.
One thing with the show that stood out,
which
to me,
I'm excited about.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, it's all good. One thing that stuck out to me was like towards the end of it when they're talking to Captain America outside of like the police station area or whatever. It seems like they kind of had like a bit of a confrontation, where he's like, "Stay out of my way," and makes you wonder like what's going to happen down the road.
That was such a lame threat. Like,
stay out of my way.
You're exactly right. Like, he clearly threatened him, and it was like, dude, you're talking to 2 guys who went up against Thanos in like the end all be all fight of all existence. Like, calm down there. Calm down there, Junior. Yeah.
Exactly. I was like, something's gonna happen.
It was also kind of a cheesy ass line and predictable too, in all honesty.
It really was, yeah.
It's like you didn't really I get why it's there, because they're trying to obviously show that like he's not, because I mean most people assume it's gonna go the obvious route of like US agent in the comics, where he's kind of just like a very just hard leaning. It's pretty much it's kind of Punisher-y, we'll just say. You know what I mean? He's kind of a dick. Let's put it that way. And like, so they're trying to like just throw like little things out there to show that he's not this old, because they start to show off with like, oh, this is a good guy, and you turn, this is a good guy, and everything he does and says makes perfect sense. Like, he's like, we should work together. Like, he honestly, even in all these scenes leading up to that one point, he was still being a good guy. Like, he was just there trying to help him on the highway scene. He bails him out of jail, all this stuff. And it's like, but so he does all these things just to try to get him to work with him, because it would be easier if they all just worked together.
Yeah.
It would, but like, they don't want to. So then he's just like, you know what? Then fuck you guys, essentially. Like,
exactly. That's kind of what I got out of it.
Yeah. Which, like, I totally get. I would be annoyed too, because like in the end, he is just like a guy trying to do his freaking job, and it's just like, it'd be a lot easier if you guys would just help me. You're literally doing the same thing I'm doing.
Right.
Like,
we have the same end goal.
Yeah, and it's like, you just don't want to help me because I'm being called Captain America. If I was just wearing my army gear, then you'd probably help me. like in all honesty, because I have this shield, you don't want to help me.
I think they gave him some pretty solid justification for it. Like, he is constrained by the limitations of the organization that he's involved with. The military has rules and regulations that he has to follow. Sam and Bucky don't have those. Like, as much as Sam is like a private contractor for the military, if he wants to go off and do his own thing, like, that's his call.
Yeah, like there are valid legal obligations to it. That is very true. That's 100% true. Then we had the Zemo reveal at the end. I don't know what they're going to do with Zemo. Like, I swear that in one of the trailers it showed Zemo with the Flag Smashers. I think he might be behind it in a lot of ways, but I don't know. If he's been in prison the whole time, I don't know, or in the psych ward or wherever the hell he is. I
Yeah.
don't know how much he could have been doing to like run the organization, but in the end, I don't know. Maybe it was just one of those things like Hulk in the trailer though, where he's not there. They just made it look like he was there. I swear the trailer I saw made him like literally like he was like literally there talking to him, but I could have hallucinated all of that. I have no idea. I really don't know. Do you think this is going to lead to them having to like get him out? Because like they're going to him for information about the super soldier stuff because he's got all this information about Hydra and all this whatnot. And what if like he has the information somewhere? Like he says there's a guy, but the guy only talked to me, so like you got to get me out, and then we'll go talk to the guy, and or I'll get you what you need, but I got to take you there. So then he's out in the wild.
Yeah.
Like I think maybe it'll go there. I think it's obvious. He has to. There has been scenes in the trailer with him walking outside with that mask. So they I know he gets out of the prison thing. He has to.
Good point.
So yeah, I don't know I don't know where it's gonna go. Other than I'm calling it now. I think he is behind the Flag Smasher somehow. I don't know how, but I think he's involved with them. So that way.
It's possible.
I don't know if he's like this power broker guy, but
That's what I was gonna say, but
well, I just don't know how much he could do behind bars. You know what I mean? It's like how could you orchestrate?
Look
all
at El
this stuff?
Chapo.
And he doesn't like superheroes, so like I don't know why he'd be making super soldiers. Like he killed all the super soldiers in Civil War, like explicitly. Like he wanted to kill them because he doesn't like that. Like he doesn't like superheroes, doesn't like super soldiers. He wanted the Avengers to tear themselves apart because he is overtly against their existence.
Yeah.
You know, so like I don't know why he would be further making super soldiers. That's the only thing I don't really know what the end game is for that. Maybe this whole like super soldier thing is like a temporary serum though, like that Project Power
something.
movie. Do what?
I read something. It was in a spoiler thing, but I'm not going to share it about what that is. But
well, it is. It's all speculation. Where did you read?
They're not super soldiers. They're taking mutated DNA or something like mutant DNA that is giving them powers, which makes them very powerful, but they're not quite on the level that like Steve Rogers is or whatever.
Yeah, so it's not the same concept. There's just some other like it's like a temporary power
mutant
boost
gene or something is what
it's
I
not
think.
Mutants.
No, that's just what they called it, like mutant.
They
like
can't call it mutant though. They physically can't call it mutant without everybody and their mom saying X-Men.
Yeah,
X-Men. So they're not bringing the X-Men into this show. There's already so many people out there like, and I know a lot of it is memes, but I know a lot of it's not. Where there's like the U.S. agent guy, John Walker, is Mephisto.
Right.
He's Mephisto. Like there's literally people you bring in, if you say mutant in any Marvel hit property, everyone's gonna be like, be a Quicksilver all over again, dude.
Right.
Ralph Boner, all over. But yeah, I just don't think they're gonna do. I think it is a temporary thing, but I just don't think it'd be like mutant genes or some shit.
Yeah.
And I don't think they would call it that either. Like I don't know what they would, but I don't know. The character moments and everything are the things that work most for me in the show though so far.
Yeah.
Like I like all the stuff. Like I like this stuff. You know, it was great with Isaiah just being like, I kicked your ass or whatever. Like,
right.
That was good. John, you froze on a very, very good face here. There we go. I got you full screen for it. There we go. You're good now. It's literally like if you're like almost like your computer going to sleep or something. It was like right when you moved your mouse or whatever, you came back to life. That was weird. I don't know. Well, am I missing anything? You guys got anything else you want to add about it? I'm just looking forward to next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys liking it more than WandaVision?
Yeah,
Too early to tell. Actually, I saw someone make it. People have been complaining that goddamn, what was it? That I know people were like complaining about the episode length of this. Like, dude, it's like literally because I was reading something where somebody said like we only have 4 more episodes left, but we've only had 2 episodes, and it's like when we had 2 episodes of WandaVision, we still had 7 episodes left.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, but they were literally like twice. We've had the same amount of content almost. Like the WandaVision episodes were like 20 odd minutes, and these are 40 some minutes. So you've had 2 plus 2 is 4, man. It's been the same amount of time, content-wise. Yeah, it's 2 episodes, but it was 1 episode is the length of 2 episodes of WandaVision. You know what I mean?
True.
It's like, it's literally because I think the length of these episodes are far and away better than the length of WandaVision. Every time WandaVision ended, I was like, I just got into it. Like,
Yeah.
but with this, I feel satisfied at the end of it. I don't want it to end, but I feel satisfied at the end. I'm happy with the length of it.
Yeah.
It's been feeling a lot better. All right, that was all I had to add. I think the length is good. Anybody out there complaining about the length? No, it's fine. 10 more minutes would be great, but I think the length works perfectly fine for the show. So, yeah, you guys got anything else? I think I'm pretty much done with it.
Yeah,
I'm
I think
wrapped
we
up.
covered it.
No, I'll be disappointed when the next 4 are over because then we've got our lull coming up. But yeah, it is
True.
what it is. It's a great show. I can't wait for the next one.
Well, do we think too? Like, I guess this can. Do we think we can have a speculatory moment here at the end of this? Is Falcon going to be Captain America, or is he just going to use the shield? What do you actually think?
I
Like,
think because of that toy, he's going to be Captain America.
do you think the
It's what
toy
he
leaks
thinks.
have got it?
Yeah.
Well, I think so too. I'm like, I think as much as I would rather him just use the shield, even use a red, white, and blue costume, he's not Captain America though. Like, I don't care what they do in the comics. Like, Steve Rogers is Captain America. You know, I don't know, like Bucky doing it's one thing, like being called Captain America. I don't think he should be Captain America either. But like, I think Falcon should still just be Falcon and use the freaking shield. I don't think he should be called Captain America. Captain America was Steve Rogers. Like, you know what I mean? I don't like that.
Yeah.
It's like, it's literally
Yeah,
like
but Steve wanted him to be Captain America.
wanted him to
See,
have the
that's why
shield.
Steve gave him the shield. He wants
That
him
was
to
it
be
though.
Captain America. Steve understands that Captain America, I mean, this goes back to the Dark Knight trilogy that it's a symbol. It means something
That's
to
true.
people. And by in a way it means even more when you put, I don't want to get too much into what I think's going to happen in the show, but the Isaiah reveal is not the end of that story. That's going to play out much more over these next 4 episodes. It's not just going to be hinted at. I think there's going to be much more we find out about exactly what happened with that situation and what the government was doing and why, while Steve didn't know about it, how the government manipulated that situation to adhere or to conform to, I don't know what the right word is, societal biases at that time, and so by Sam becoming Captain America, not just getting the shield, but by taking on the moniker and the designation, it's going to be a symbolic gesture to try and help heal some wrongs that may have happened in the past.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be vague about it all, but yeah, I think if it does go that way, I'll be very happy with that result.
Well, yeah, you make a good point. If you look at it from the idea of the symbolism of Captain America, then you're absolutely right. It would make sense for them to call the new guy Captain America, regardless of who it is, for just to carry on the symbolic nature of it. I guess it's even kind of like a Nightwing wearing the bat suit when Bruce is out of town. It's like, well, we need Batman here, okay? We can't just have you in your Nightwing garb here. No one's gonna give a shit. You wear the bat suit, you strike fear in the hearts of everybody. It just is what it is. That's the symbol it's created. And I think too, the whole scene with Isaiah, I think Bucky took him there to show him, like, because like the show kind of put it off to where like Sam, and I might be putting this together in my head, and may not have been all narratively like spelled out this way. This is just how I kind of interpreted it. But like Sam didn't want to take up the shield because kind of like at the end where he was like, if Steve was wrong about you, then he was wrong about me. So Sam thought it was the right thing to do to just retire the shield and just move on, right? Because he doesn't feel worthy of it. He doesn't feel like he's worthy of being called Captain America. It's like he's just a guy, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like everybody, like kind of like even what I was saying is like he's not a super soldier. He's just a guy, like whatever. That's pretty much how he feels. He's like, in no way I could live up to Steve Rogers. and all this stuff. But I think Bucky took him there to show him like the government's shitty. You don't think that you live up to being this thing, but like it's all like a facade. Like the government, like look what the government like. You don't think you're worthy of the shield, but Steve did, and look like the government did to frickin' Isaiah. Like you know what I mean? Like the thing that you don't think you're qualified for or whatever, like being this essentially government symbol for America. Like they're shady as hell. Like and here's proof. Like you know get. I think that's what he was kind of getting at, right?
Yeah.
Like just trying to like show him like it's not that big of a deal, dude. Like, you know, Steve chose you and that's all that matters. Like,
Right.
you know. So, and then my favorite scene though too, other than like the heart to heart stuff though, was definitely hey Black Falcon. Hey Black Falcon.
Right.
Does that make you
Sure,
Black Kid?
you Black Kid?
Right.
That was so funny, dude. That was so good.
That was funny.
That was good. That was my favorite scene. That was a really good joke. That one worked really well. But guys, that'll wrap it up. Unless you guys got anything else you want to add, because that one did just come up to me.
Yeah.
All right, good deal. Then Rick, where can everybody find you online, good sir?
Follow me on Instagram at Sir Rick Metz. I got the name down here. You can come check it out and look at my stupid pictures.
Good deal. All right, John, how about you? Where can everybody find you online?
I'm over on Twitter and Instagram at Nightwing_K. And I wrote a almost 10-page diatribe on why I love the Snyder cut of Justice League. So I think the link's up at one of those two or both of them. If not, I'll throw it up there. But if you have 4 hours to spend after watching the movie, you give that a look. Or if you're interested in seeing a real it's almost a scene by scene breakdown of exactly why I love this movie and just my rationale for why I think it plays so much better than I ever thought it could. So,
speaking of which, did you ever get around to watching BVS like you wanted to?
I started it yesterday afternoon, maybe, and I think I made it about an hour into it, and then my kid woke up from his nap, so I had to pause it. But I'm really enjoying it so far. Without with some of the Batman's violence aside, the one that gets me the most is when the Batmobile first shows up and he goes after Lex Luthor's goons or whatever.
And he just
knocks
plows
the one
through
car.
it.
He knocks the one car into a like mobile home, and you're like, okay, those guys are done for. Like they're not necessarily dead; they're just done for. And then he shoots a grappling hook at them and drags them for 17 city blocks before throwing them into another car. It was just like the over the top. But, even that, like, okay, that's Zack's version of Batman. And, I understand that that's a cool thing. It's not practical. It's not whatever. But it's not the Batman
car
that
he
won't
grabbed
kill.
was an empty car, though. He hit
No,
the
no,
one
it's
car.
not.
Yeah, well, it was parked there. They showed it.
No, I
there.
guarantee it's not. I just watched it. The dude goes, as the headlights come to him and his car gets knocked and goes flying.
Yeah, and then
over
he grabs
side.
the other car. Like he hits that car out of the way. That one flips over and stuff, but then he grabs another car that was already parked there. I just watched the scene. The HDR scene that they revealed. I swear that's what it is. He just grabs the car.
He pulls out the same thing that it hits. It hits like a mobile home or a trailer behind it, and then he pulls it out of the trailer.
It was a completely different car.
No.
Either way, I don't care.
It's crazy.
Again,
that's what I'm getting to. Like my whole perspective on that movie is slowly changing. I think we talked about it last week. My whole perspective is slowly changing.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up. I think we were talking about it much more than I remember. Yeah, I did because I think we were talking about it on stream, so I didn't know if you finished watching or got to watching it or something. Yeah, because you didn't like the Batman stuff, but like Ben Affleck's my favorite Batman. So I mean,
yeah.
I love the Batman. So BVS Ben Affleck Batman is my favorite Ben Affleck Batman. That was good stuff. I liked that a lot. I don't really care about the killing stuff. That stuff aside, like fake movie stuff, it doesn't matter to me at all. Like it just never bothers me. Like I said, again, Punisher Batman would not be cool if he was going around just gun to heading people, like a little bit different than grabbing a car and throwing it around. Maybe the result's the same. You could argue that. I understand that. It's the same end result, right? But either way, that'll do it. We're calling it there before we get into another Snyder Cut BVS kind of talk, and it'll go on for another hour. So, guys, don't forget you can submit topics and questions to the show by emailing us here at honestandUneducated@gmail.com. That's honestandUneducated@gmail.com. You can follow me at Sir Rob Bifo on every other platform there. Every Wednesday, we have collectible reviews go up. I'll probably do I might do one of these new ones I got here. So, you know, maybe one that I have in there. If you were on the stream this past Friday, you saw that I got a new one in. It was the Punisher War Machine. Speaking of Punisher, it was the Punisher War Machine hot toy. It might be my new favorite one. I gotta say the thing's awesome. It's awesome. Rick, you like that one too, don't you? That one's good
for sure.
Damn good hot toy. So I might even do that one next. But the unboxing video will be up later this week, if it's not already up right now. I don't know yet. Depends on when I get it done. But so I did the unboxing of that, did a little preview of it. I'll have a review up sometime later, and then we stream every Friday, so coming out with us there. Like the video, subscribe, all that sorts of fun stuff. But until next time, guys, take care.